Market activities are off to a calm start as investors shift focus to today's 450 billion naira T-bills auction. On the bond side, we see investors also continue to lock in profits following the sharp decline in yields observed in previous sessions. Kolawole Komolafe, Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank, joins me now for more market movements. Kolawole, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Before we get into the expectations from today's primary market auction, walk us through the quotes we've seen on the OMO papers and where is demand strongest so far?
Yeah, thank you, David. So it's been a pretty busy week in the fixed income space. There was an OMO auction on Monday where the CBN offered 600 billion on the 106-day tenor and 232-day tenor. And the subscription level was very healthy at over 1.5 trillion, and the allotment was also at 1.5 trillion. So post the auction, we've seen that there have been very strong interest on the 2026, that's the January 2026 paper. We also continue to see interest on the NTB space for the long end. So it's been a pretty busy or active week in the fixed income space. You mentioned that there's a 450 billion NTB auction today, where the DMO will be offering 450 billion across the standard maturities, the 91, 182, and 364-day paper. And we're just looking out to see where that would close. If you recall, the last auction, it closed at 18 for the 91-day, 18.5 for the 182, and 19.56 for the 364-day paper. So we're just waiting to see where the results will close later today.
And on the bond side of things now, we are still seeing the belly of the bond curve subdued. But at this moment, we're also seeing yields on the 2033 maturity reaching the high of about 19.5%. In terms of how investors are also positioning, yes, they're trying to lock in profits from following the sharp decline we saw in yields from the previous session. But what should we expect going forward into the coming week and the rest of the month of June?
Okay, so liquidity position will really have a major say. The system is pretty much liquid at this point. Currently, about 833 billion in liquidity. We have the NTB settlement that's supposed to auction. There will be a settlement, but we also have a 320 billion that will be maturing tomorrow. So system liquidity is pretty much healthy. We'll see if the CBN will conduct any open market operation to sort of manage that liquidity. But by and large, the liquidity position would have a big part to play in how we would see the activity continue to play out.
And in terms of how strong the Naira might be going forward, what's your take around that, especially on the back of the sort of inflows we've seen from FPIs at the moment?
Yeah, so entering this week, we've seen significant inflows, or relatively significant inflows from the FPIs. We've seen more interest from the FPIs, also supported by the Moody reports that upgraded Nigeria and also changed the outlook to stable. So entering this week, we've seen some significant interest from FPIs, which rates are continuing to appreciate across the three benchmark rates. NAFEX yesterday closed at 1,583 naira 11 kobo, and we expect that rates would continue to hover around this range. Barring any significant liquidity impact, we could see significant supplies, and we could further make rates to appreciate to close the week.
Okay. I would leave the conversation here for now, Kolawole. Thanks a lot for your time. That was Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank, Kolawole Komolafe, with the market movement.